What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I've got an early review of one of the most anticipated sneakers of the next couple months, the AirMax 720. The AirMax 720 has been teased for a very long time, and ever since I first started to see images of this shoe, I was excited about it. It's just got such a different, futuristic look to it while still looking like an AirMax. Like the AirMax 270s from last year, this is one of the only AirMaxes ever to be made specifically for lifestyle wear and not for performance wear. And not only that, but Nike also put the tallest air unit they've ever put in any sneaker into the 720, taking the crown from the 270s from last year. And this sort of iridescent purple colorway, Nike is dubbing the Aurora borealis colorway, and it's the very first color of this silhouette to drop, and it drops on February 1st for $180. But with all that being said, why don't we get into the nitty-gritty of the sneaker itself. The upper of this sneaker comes in sort of this padded dark purple mesh that's actually accented by these pressed details that almost look like ripples or waves. This pressed in ripple texture definitely contributes to the overall sort of organic design aesthetic that this sneaker has. And I usually don't like when Nike adds this sort of pressed texture, but it plays off the other design details of the shoe so well, I think it was a great addition. On the tip of the toe, you've got this rubbery plastic iridescent purple panel, and I think it's probably there mainly for durability, but it could also be there for aesthetics. I'm not totally sure. Just above that, on the top of the toe, you've got this mini Nike swoosh, and that's one of the things I really like about this sneaker. They kept the branding minimal, which I think looks great. As you continue up the shoe, you've got these super subtle hidden black lace loops that hold these black flat laces in place. Just below the laces, you've got some more purple padded mesh on the tongue, and then rounding off the top of the tongue, you've got this iridescent purple AirMax logo. Moving inside the shoe, you've got this black plush sock liner, which feels pretty good against the foot. The insole of the sneaker comes in black with this sort of silverish green AirMax text printed on the heel. As for fit, because I know you guys are all interested, this shoe definitely seems to fit true to size. I have a more narrow foot, so I probably could have gotten away with going down half a size if I wanted a more snug fit. However, I definitely suggest going true to size on this shoe. One thing I do have to say, and I'll talk about it when I get to the air bubble, but there was kind of a learning curve when walking in this shoe, and that's a weird thing to say, but because of the placement of the air bubble on the heel and how just thick this air bubble is, it's a different experience, and it's something that you kind of have to get used to. Moving back on the sneaker to the midfoot, you get to this ventilation hole area, which doesn't really seem to ventilate your foot at all, but at the end of the day, it looks good, and for a shoe like this, I guess that's all that matters. This area is made up of black padded mesh and is surrounded by that same sort of iridescent purple rubbery plastic that you find on the toe. Visually, I love this detail. I think it looks great and it defines the upper of the shoe. Just below that, you've got this semi-translucent, sparkly purple TPU panel with an embossed Nike swoosh coming off the side. That's another example of very clean, very minimal branding, which I think looks great. As you move farther back on the sneaker to the heel, you get to these two triangular shaped ventilation holes surrounded by that same iridescent purple panel. Running up the center of the heel, you've got this black pull tab with an upside down Nike swoosh, and then just below that you've got more of that sparkly TPU with 720 embossed into it. Then moving down the sneaker, you get to the selling point, the crazy thick air bubble. This gigantic air unit runs from right here on the toe all the way around the bottom of the sneaker to the other side of the toe. It also starts to get significantly thicker the farther back on the shoe you get. And right here at the heel, at the peak thickness of the shoe, is sort of where I find the problem. Because it has this wedge-like shape, and because the back of the air bubble is pushed out so far from the heel, I find that the back of the air bubble actually hits the ground on strides before my heel does, which is kind of disconcerting. Like, it's definitely a weird feeling. And to be 100% honest, it almost feels like I have to change the way that I walk in this shoe, and that's not a good thing. But on the other side of the coin, this air unit is incredibly comfortable, and I don't want to hate on it because it just feels so great underfoot. So far, I've only worn this shoe for a couple hours, and I'm gonna bring this shoe on a trip with me this weekend, so it's possible that after I only wear this shoe all weekend, maybe my thoughts will change. But as of right now, I'm kind of torn. I don't know how to feel. I'm planning to do another video where I compare this shoe to other sneakers on the market, and by then hopefully I'll have a better idea of how I feel about this shoe overall. But right now, I just don't know. It's honestly like stupid comfortable and it feels great underfoot, but the way it kind of hits the ground before my foot does, That's a little weird to me. And it's totally possible that that's just me. Maybe I don't walk the way that other people walk. I don't know. I will say this though, it's not a deal breaker, and overall, I still really love this shoe. And then rounding off the sneaker, on the bottom of the shoe, you've got this translucent rubber ring for durability. And then in the center of the forefoot, you've got this black rubber pod for added traction and durability. And surrounding that pod, you've got this black foam. Overall, the Air Max 720 is an awesome sneaker. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. However, there are drawbacks. The first is the price. It's $180, and that's not cheap for a sneaker, especially an Air Max. The second is that weird sort of issue I have in the heel, and it's possible that that will go away the more I wear the shoe, but that's not something I usually experience in new sneakers. With all that being said though, I'm happy I bought the sneaker, I love the way it looks, and I'm excited for some of the upcoming colorways as well. So that pretty much wraps up my review of the Air Max 720. Now I would love to know your thoughts on this sneaker and whether you're planning to grab this shoe when it drops on February 1st, so make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.